Welcome back to my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala. We are doing chapter number 6 tissues 9 Cbse. Let's see today the muscular tissue. What are these muscular tissues? Muscular tissues consist of elongated cells called as muscle fibers. Right? So these are elongated cells which are called as muscle fibers. This tissues is responsible for our body movements, right? The movements what takes place in our body, right? That is the legs, your arms, okay, all the movements what we see, it is responsible for that. The muscle contains special proteins called as the contractile proteins. Okay, it contains special proteins. That is the contractile proteins which contracts and relaxes, right, to cause the movement. Okay, how is this movement caused? When one muscle contract and another relax, right now. Okay, so the contraction and relaxation of these causes the movement. Now let's see different types of muscles. Okay, now the first type is what is voluntary muscle, right? Voluntary itself means what? Voluntary means that it is under our control, right? So some muscles can be moved by the conscious will. Okay, what is the conscious will? The conscious will is nothing but it is under our control. That is the conscious will we can move. Okay, so muscle presence in our limbs move when we want them to move and stop when we decide. Right, so it is all under our control. Such muscles are called as voluntary muscles. Right, such muscles are called as voluntary muscles. These muscles are also called as skeletal muscles as they are mostly attached to the bones. Okay, they are attached to the bones and help in the body movement. Okay, bones are there which makes the skeletal framework, and these muscles are attached to these bones and they both make the movement. Now under the microscope, what structure you see? What you see is that the muscle shows alternate light and dark bands. It shows light and dark bands or stations when stained appropriately. Okay, so light and dark band is being seen, okay, which gives a very nice appearance of stations. As a result, they are also called as striated muscles. They are called as striated muscles. Here you can see here. Okay, light and dark bands are being seen. Okay, so the cells of the tissues, how are these? They are long, they are cylindrical. See here, they are cylindrical, they are unbranched and multinucleate. Okay, so having many nucleus. So this is what my voluntary muscles are, how they look about. Then comes my second type of muscles, which is involuntary muscles. Okay, now involuntary muscle, if you see here itself, it suggests that the movement of these involuntary muscles are not in our control, right? The movement of the food in alimentary canal or the contraction and relaxation of the blood vessels are involuntary movements. We cannot really start them or we cannot really stop them. Okay, simply by our own will, right? So these are also called as smooth muscles or involuntary muscles. So involuntary muscles are also called as smooth muscles, right? So they are also found in the iris of eye and in the bronchi of the lungs. So the cells, how are these cells under the microscope? Okay, under the microscope, you will see that they are long with pointed ends, like spindle shaped. Okay, like spindle shaped. These are, see here, they are like spindle shaped. Here you see. Okay, spindle shaped and uninucleate. Okay, they are uninucleate, single nucleus is there, and they are called as unstriated muscles. These are called as unstriated muscles. Now let's see the next one, that is the cardiac muscle. Now cardiac muscles, where these muscles are situated? In the heart, right? The muscles of the heart shows rhythmic contraction and relaxation, right, throughout the life. You know that throughout the life they don't take any break, है ना? So contraction and relaxation is being shown by this muscles, a rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Okay, you'll always see a rhythm will be maintained. So these involuntary muscles are called as the cardiac muscles. Okay, heart muscle cells are, how are these under a microscope? If you see them, they are cylindrical, they are branched, and uninucleate. Okay, uninucleated, right? So let's see the difference between these three muscles, that is the striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and the cardiac muscles. Okay, the shape of the striated muscles are cylindrical and multinucleated, as we have seen. The shape of the unstriated muscles are spindle. Okay, and the cardiac muscle, the shape of the cardiac muscles are cylindrical and uninucleated. Then the striated muscles are found in the body parts where the movements have been done. Unstriated muscles, where you see that where the movement is being done, okay, which is not under our control, intestine, iris, stomach parts. And the cardiac muscles are found where? In the heart. Now let's go to a very important kind of tissues, which is called as nervous tissues. Right? You know that nervous tissue is a very important tissue in our body. So all the cells in our body possess what? It possesses the ability to respond to the stimuli. Right? Okay, but there are cells, they are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus very rapidly from one place to another within the body. So responding to the stimuli and passing that stimuli to the part of the body. Okay, so these cells together are called as nervous tissues, right? So nervous tissues is a very important part in a body. The brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves are all composed of nervous tissue. All these are composed of nervous tissue. The cells of these tissues are called as nerve cells or neuron. Okay, the cell of this tissue is called as nerve cell or neuron. Let's see the structure of this nerve cell or neuron. Here you will see that a neuron consists of what? It consists of a cell body is there, right? Okay, with a nucleus, and a cytoplasm. Here you see that nucleus is there and a cytoplasm will be there, from which long thin hair-like part arises. See here, hair-like part. Usually each neuron has a single long part process called as axon. Right, here you see a single large part axon is there which is coming out. Okay, and many short branched part called as dendrites. Here are the dendrites. Okay, and here is a axon. Okay, an individual nerve cell may be up to a meter long. It can be a meter long, such a big cell can be this neuron. Many nerve fibers bound together by connective tissues make up a nerve. The signal that passes along the nerve fiber is called as nerve impulse. Right? These nerve impulses allow us to move our muscles when we want us to move. The functional combination of nerve and muscle tissues is a fundamental in most of the animals. So this coordination is there. This combination enables animals to move rapidly in response to the stimuli. Right? So this is the cell body for that. Okay. Students, so we have seen this chapter tissues. I'm sure you have a very nice learning. Kindly subscribe, share my channel Kishore Sir Ki Pathshala.